we get another round of applause for the Veritas Choir? Good evening, Falcon family, friends, faculty, and most importantly, the spectacular class of 2023. It's truly an honor to be with you here this evening. Joe Tweed, thank you for that kind introduction. And before I begin, I'd like to give a special thanks to Miss Noreen Powers. Miss Noreen Powers started working at Albertus when I was here over 24 years ago. Noreen, thank you for providing me and other students with guidance and advice over your 24-year career here at Albertus. Thank you. I grew up in a small town down the road called Spring Valley. Anyone here from Spring Valley? All right, I see you. Just like you, I sat in your seats 23 years ago, filled with overwhelming excitement, but also a little bit of fear and anxiety about what the future holds. Just like you, when I graduated in 2000, we also had a virus scare. It was called the Y2K virus. You see, everyone thought that on January 1st, 2000, a computer virus was going to shut down the world's computers. Airplanes were going to fall from the sky, the global economy would come to a screeching halt, and as students, we secretly hoped that we would have an extended winter break, and if we were really lucky, maybe the rest of the semester off. On New Year's Eve, we watched the ball drop, and then we rushed to our computers to see if they were still working. And of course, we booted them up, and they worked just fine. Not even a flicker of the computer screen, nothing. We were back to school on Monday. In retrospect, I'm glad that we averted the Y2K pandemic. Over the past 4 years, I've gotten to know two of your classmates, Danny Nin and Cheyenne Thomas, through our scholarship program. And I've observed the challenges that your class has had, being in a virtual school environment for a year and a half, wondering if you'd ever go back to in-person classes, having two different A and B groups coming to school. As an adult with an established career, the pandemic caused me lots of anxiety and fear, and I could only imagine the level of anxiety that you experienced as students. Congratulations on making it this far and getting to where you are today. As I mentioned, I graduated Albertus in the year 2000, the first class of the new millennium, and we like to call ourselves the Millennium Falcons, a tribute to that legendary ship from Star Wars that can make the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. And I guess that would make me Han Solo, and I hope to impart some Jedi wisdom to you here tonight. Now, if you haven't seen the original Star Wars movie, it's okay. I'll give you a quick summary. So in the movie, Luke Skywalker, the hero of the story, is a poor farm boy from the planet of Tatooine when a menacing pandemic called the Empire threatens his way of life. A mentor named Obi-Wan gives Luke a lightsaber and teaches him about a powerful ability called the Force, which is basically like space magic. Now, Luke rejects his calling to become a Jedi, and he tries to return to his old way of life, but he can't, because the pandemic, the Empire, kills his aunt and uncle, and he realizes that he can't go back. The only way is forward. So he picks up his lightsaber, boards the Millennium Falcon, and fights back against the Empire. In the process, he tries to kill his father, makes out with his sister, loses a hand, blows up the Death Star, and now we have Baby Yoda. Any questions? This is a classic hero's journey, where a reluctant hero must overcome their doubts and anxiety in order to accomplish an incredible mission. And spoiler alert, it's the same plot as every single Star Wars movie since 1977. Luke's hero's journey is similar to Harry Potter defeating Voldemort, Elsa in the movie Frozen, and even Jesus Christ. Every great hero story involves a calling, some type of fear and self-doubt, and an important mission to accomplish. I experienced my own version of the calling when, after I graduated, I had a calling to join the Army. A year and a half after I sat in your seats, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. For Jedi training, I went to West Point and then flight school. Instead of a lightsaber, I learned how to fly Black Hawk helicopters and use an M4 rifle. And instead of the Force, I learned about a much more powerful ability called leadership. Despite the training, nothing quite prepared me for my first deployment to Afghanistan. As a young 27-year-old company commander, I was responsible for leading 110 soldiers and deploying them into combat. I remember when we said goodbye to our families. I watched husbands kiss their wives and parents hug their children one more time before boarding an airplane and going halfway around the world. And I thought, this may be the last time that some poor child gets to see their mother or father, that some of these soldiers may never come home. And it was then that I doubted myself, and I questioned my ability as a leader and whether or not I could be the leader that those soldiers needed me to be. Despite a challenging deployment and losing some teammates along the way in other units, I'm happy to say that all 110 soldiers in my command returned safely home a year later. Each of you is also on your own hero's journey. For some of you, the menace was the COVID-19 pandemic, but most of you have even more pressing challenges ahead. When you are challenged, you will long for this simpler time at Albertus Magnus High School. But once you've been called, you can never go back. You can only go forward. Since my deployment, I've experienced other similar journeys in leading groups of soldiers, managing multi-billion-dollar weapon programs, starting a scholarship here at Albertus, starting other businesses, and in my most important mission in life, being a loving husband and father to my wife and babies. And what I've learned is that it's natural to feel fear, self-doubt, and anxiety. Those feelings, they pull at us. They want to keep us grounded, safe, in our comfort zone. But just like the falcon soars above the earth, you must learn to soar above your fear and self-doubt if you want to accomplish anything worth meaning in life. And let me tell you, that realization is powerful. Even more eye-opening is that the level of fear, self-doubt, and anxiety you feel is almost always proportionate to the magnitude and importance of what you are preparing to accomplish. And that is a spark. If you can realize that secret, it's a potential energy waiting to be unleashed. It's rocket fuel to propel you to do anything you want to accomplish in life. As you transition to this next phase of your life, as you're doing here tonight, whether that's college, a career, or something else, I encourage you to learn how to recognize your fear, self-doubt, and anxiety. But more importantly, question those feelings and learn to recognize the calling that is causing those feelings. Remember, as Yoda said, fear is the way of the dark side. It's okay to feel fear, but don't let it paralyze you. Don't give in to the anxiety and self-doubt. Instead, use it as that rocket fuel to propel you forward. So, class of 2023, it's time to push past your fear, to silence your self-doubt and anxiety. It's time to pick up your lightsabers. It's time to muster the courage and step into the fray. It's time to lead, serve, and inspire. It's time to be the heroes of your own journeys. And remember, may the Force be with you always. Congratulations, and here's to your journey ahead.
Sorry, sit down the front.